Hello there, welcome back to Backyard Ballistics. Today I have a very old gun for you. In fact, this is the oldest firearm I've ever shown on this channel. It is an original Marlin model 1881 lever-action rifle, the very first repeating rifle made by the Marlin company. And by looking at the serial number and some design details, we determine its year of manufacture to be around 1883, making this item over 140 years old, by far the oldest thing I've ever restored on this channel. Unfortunately, quite a few things are wrong with it. First of all, as you might have guessed, that's not the right stock. In fact, I made that piece of junk myself for the thumbnail. The gun came without a stock, and that's not the only thing missing. I can already see that there's no mainspring. Let's just hope we don't get any more surprises while taking it apart. The action is not seized up, which is a good thing, and it gives me hope the insides might still be in good condition. By the look of it, it seems to me this was a very slow rusting in a not so damp environment. The lever screw is all stuck though, and I don't want to force it out with the impact driver. On items this old, screws are very likely using non-standard threads, and if I mess one up, it would be a massive pain trying to replicate it. You really don't want them to break, just like that. I don't think it was my fault though, I could hardly feel any resistance while turning it. Anyway, I also realized the rear sight is broken, so it needs replacing. Now, since I don't want anything else to break, I'll resort to chemical derusting, so to get everything as unstuck as possible, but before I can do that, we need to remove the fore end.
There you go.
And to do that, the magazine tube needs to come off first.
No? No. Oh, hang on.
I think you did it.
I think I moved it, mate.
Well done, mate.
Ah, lovely jubbly.
At this point, we can first degrease the gun.
That you're dipping your hands in sodium hydroxide.
Fuck's sake,
And
you could have told me.
And then derust it chemically. In the meanwhile, we decided to have a look for some spares, including the stock, but as usual, geo-restrictions discriminate against anybody that is non-American. Luckily, I can simply turn on CyberGhost VPN, the sponsor of today's video, select an American server and browse wherever I want. With over 38 million users worldwide and 20,000 excellent reviews on Trustpilot, it's one of the best VPNs available. You've just seen how it unlocks geo-restricted content, allowing to choose servers from over 100 different locations, but that's only the tip of the iceberg of what it can do. The most important feature of the VPN is boosting online privacy by encrypting traffic and rerouting it through secure servers, making it next to impossible for third parties, including nosy governments, to peek into your online activities. By using CyberGhost, nobody, not even CyberGhost itself, will be able to tell which websites you're visiting. And in a day and age when online censorship and repressive measures are starting to become common even in the Western world, just think of the UK Online Safety Act, using a trustworthy VPN is more important than ever. And by changing your online location, you can even score better deals online. It works on all major devices and operating systems, Windows, macOS, Android, iOS, and you can protect up to 7 devices at the same time, perfect for sharing with friends and family. So use the link in the description to grab an 84% discount plus 4 months free. With a 45-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 customer support, you can try it completely risk-free. Going back to the Marlin, after 24 hours of soaking in the chemicals, there's hardly any rust left on it, and we can go ahead in the disassembly.
I think that's out.
The lever screw was still quite tight, but nothing like before.
Coming out.
Yeah.
Well,
Is
that's
it-
the.
Yeah, there it goes.
Ugh. Go and have my watch. Right, that's nearly out.
There you go.
Towards me, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Don't forget you got the hammer in here. Come on, you baby. Come on, show me I was right.
There you go.
The part I'm removing here is called the carrier and is responsible for moving each cartridge from the magazine tube to the barrel breech. And finally we can pull out the bolt.
Brilliant. Look at that.
There you go.
What I'm removing now is a dust cover, since otherwise the bolt would be exposed through the open top receiver.
That should just come off.
Right. Right, that's another screw.
What's that for?
That's to hold the
it's-
extractor that I just removed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's definitely. Okay.
So I'm guessing that should.
Just
Then comes the firing pin,
like
and the
that.
last thing I have to take out is this peculiarly shaped ejector. Relieved by the good condition of the bolt, I then looked at the bore and was very pleased to see it looked amazing. It's not uncommon to find good bores in rusty guns, but on a gun that old, I wasn't expecting it to look that brilliant. Now, this is what we're left with. Also, I'm taking the chance to show you something. There's no rust damage around the pin and screw holes. That is because if the insides were well lubricated at the time the gun was stored, which I think they were, oil slowly seeped out the holes, protecting the area right next to it from oxidation. It's a shame this thing is so well preserved on the insides, but is so rough on the outside. Sure, the opposite would have been much worse, but given the good shape of the internals and barrel, it is worth spending some effort to make it look a bit better. So, Guy and I spent the best part of a day draw filing the flat surfaces of the rifle and sanding the curved ones.
How did you get on dogging last night?
To make working on the barrel easier, we also removed the front sight.
You're holding it like a fucking
mincer.
raspberry.
Do you know why I'm doing it like that?
Why?
Because I want a camera to see what I'm doing. Okay.
Yeah, go on, it's going, mate. Yep, you're there.
Of course, while doing this, we avoided the area on top of the barrel where the markings are. Unfortunately, the deeper pits will remain. I think welding on something this old just to fill in some rust pits wouldn't have been worth the risk. On the barrel instead, I was able to get most of the damage sanded out. I started doing the same thing on the magazine tube, but on that I found a little unpleasant surprise. Cartridges are held inside this tube, one in front of the other, sliding down towards the receiver to allow repeating fire. But a deep dent like this could very well get them stuck or even make loading the tube impossible altogether. That's why I'm ramming a steel rod of appropriate size down through it to push the bulge outwards.
Yeah, there he is. Right.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
That already worked to some extent, and some hammering against the rod will finish the job. To be sure I'd fixed it, I tried loading the tube with some 4570 brass.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now let's see if they come out regularly. Yeah, I'll take that as a yes. All done.
And everything seems to work out fine.
Please.
The next thing I want to worry about is the stock. As I said, this rifle came without one, so we have no idea what happened to the original. So just get a new one, right? Well, turns out the model 1881, which is the first repeater rifle ever manufactured by the Marlin company, and the first lever action to fire the powerful 4570 cartridge, has been out of production since 1903, so getting an original was next to impossible. The only well-made replica we could find for sale was in America, and we immediately ordered it, but unfortunately it was going to take weeks for it to be delivered to the UK, and we were already on a tight schedule. So in the meanwhile, I had to find a temporary fix that was decent enough. Later Marlin rifles used somewhat lighter receivers, in turn making their stocks not interchangeable with the earlier ones that were also slightly beefier. However, the general shape of the stocks and buttstock is the same, so I felt adjusting a later Marlin stock to our rifle was the most natural thing to do. To do that, I first of all had to enlarge the inletting to make room for the thicker tang of the 1881, which also required pushing the comb of the stock a little further back. Of course, the fit won't be perfect because the stock is too thin, but that's okay for a temporary fix. On the bottom side, the tang inletting is instead longer than required, and I had to fill it in accordingly. Once I felt the fit was good enough, I refinished the stock completely, not only because I had sanded some areas of it, but also to try and match the color of the original. So I first sanded off whatever finish was left, stained the wood to what I expected to be a decent color match, and then once everything was dry, applied 3 coats of true oil. At this point, we felt the steel parts didn't need any more work done to them and went ahead with bluing them. Now, the last thing to worry about is replacing the missing mainspring. That's the leaf spring that pushes the hammer forward when you pull the trigger, and as you might imagine, it is crucial to the gun's operation.
Right.
In order to make a new one in the right size and shape, I took a picture of all the original parts and scaled it to match the size of the real ones, so I could copy the shape and size of the spring I needed.
Smooth.
And here's the result.
Is
Yeah, not bad.
The ones you just saw were the very first shot we fired.
clear.
Before leaving you, I want to give a final thanks to CyberGhost VPN for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to click on the description link to get the special discount CyberGhost VPN is granting to our channel users. This application will protect your data while you browse and give you full access to all blocked content on the internet for $2.03 a month, totally risk-free, so check it out, link in description.
Once again, a huge thanks goes to my patrons, which as usual are all listed here. Thank you all for watching, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I'll see you next time. Bye.